everyone, this is Just Trying to Play It, and we are here with a demo from the Steam special that's going on. It is July 17th right now, which means we only have 3 days left, I believe, for all of the demos and wonderful stuff that's being put out there to end. Today we're going to be playing The Lawyer. I believe they have the first epilogue available to us. And basically, this is a game. I picked this game because, number one, obviously it's a demo, so therefore it's free. But number two, it reminded me of a game from way back then called LA Law. I don't know if anyone remembers that show, but there was a TV show called LA Law where it was a bunch of lawyers basically litigating different cases. And it also showed kind of their life in itself and the things that they went through as well. And I think this is also one of them. According to this, we play a lawyer that just got out of rehab who has to basically get his name back, kind of show people that he can be trusted. We also play a different character at times, I think during the investigations and everything. So I thought it was kind of cool. I thought we'd give it a little look. I will play this throughout the entire epilogue. I don't know how long that will be. I don't know if that's one episode or multiples, but we're going to see what it's all about. I haven't changed anything. I haven't looked at anything on here. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Ferry and Sonnenberg, Friday, August 10th,
my name is Mark
1992.
Ferry. I'm an attorney at law. Are you here to take a closer look at my everyday duties? Well, you should have seen my last case. Remember this poor woman found dead in her bathtub? That was intense. I'm sorry, that wasn't very sensitive of me. Still, the case was huge, and got on the media too. Heard about that? Yes? No? My point is, we're in the middle of a slow season. At least I am. Like there aren't any crimes during summer. What nonsense. But first, I'd like to introduce our extremely reliable, irreplaceable secretary, Miss Podnick. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Ferry. There was a phone call from the court. They wanted to talk with you.
A phone call from the court? Did they state their business?
Yes, they requested you take a case as a public defender.
A public defender? What did you tell them?
I was confused a bit and told them that you are a private attorney, but they claimed that you're on the list.
Well, I guess I am.
I'm sorry, I don't follow.
Well, it was a long time ago. I tried public defense after completing my degree. Wanted to do something for the community, for people economically underprivileged.
But you haven't taken any case as a public defender since I started working here, have you?
That's true. I took some of these cases at the beginning of my career, and at some point I ended up here in my dad's office. So when they were calling me from the court, I turned them down once, then for the second time.
I understand.
I thought I'd sent my resignation. Well, seems I'm still on it.
I told the court that you'd give the answer as soon as possible. Shall I make a call and tell them about your refusal?
No, tell them I accept.
I'm sorry?
I'm serious. I thought I'd have a lot of work after the red bathtub case, but I was wrong. I need to occupy myself with another case.
I understand, but maybe you'd like me to at least check what this case is about?
Please do. I can take any case now.
Of course. I'll let the court know about your decision and ask for more details then.
Excellent. I'll be around.
So is that me? Yeah. So it looks like that's me. And let's just get a little look around here. Let's see what the controls are all about.
Hello, this is the Ferry and Sonnenberg office. I'm calling back on behalf of Mr. Mark
I'm gonna
Ferry.
be nosy and listen.
Yes, he agreed to represent the client. Yes, I'll wait.
Yeah, I'm being nosy. So, okay. So
Yes,
let's see
I'm
what's
here.
going on. We're supposed
Do
to
you have our
pick
fax
up
number?
ID from our office.
Mm-hmm.
We're going
Of course.
to
Thank you. Have a
have
nice
to
day.
figure this
Goodbye.
is our office here. E open. I'm hitting E. Why is it not opening? Okay, hold on.
I talked with the court. Here are the documents. Please check the nature of the case. One of the pages is the letter of acceptance. You need to sign it and then I'll fax it back. Or you can send it from your office if you prefer.
No need to wait. Thank you, Mrs. Potnick. I'll pick it up on my way out.
Okay. Tax analysis. In the inventory, you'll find currently carried items. Some of them are documents, which you can analyze to obtain valuable clues. Open the inventory, eye for inventory, and view a document. This will open the item in the focus mode, in which you can perform various actions depending on the nature of the item. Well, let's do that. There we go. Okay, so here's my pass. When did I pick this up? Let's see. So let's view this item. Analyze the text.
What do we have here?
Here we go. First, determine who's the defendant in the case. Click on the name of the person. So that's this person here.
Mr. Owen Williams, 25 years old, African American, married. He's still in the detention center because he didn't bail himself out. And what are you charged with, Mr. Williams?
Check if there's any useful information left in the document. Well, let's see. We informed that the public defender, Mr. Percy Morgan, has recently passed away. Thus, there is an urgent need for nomination of a new attorney. Because of this, the trial has to be postponed until the new defender is appointed. The prosecutor's office, represented by Mr. Raylan Jackson, will continue to work on the case unchanged.
It'll be easy with this guy. I should call the DA's office to schedule the meeting.
So this is interesting, though. It's nice the way they have you.
Wow.
It's nice the way they have you like pick different things.
Participation in an organized criminal group. What have I gotten myself into?
So he's an organized
Previous
criminal
public
group.
attorney has passed away, so the court urgently needed another lawyer. They found me.
Okay. I think that's all we need to pick for here. I like the way this is done. It's kind of interesting. Let's go back here and see now. Okay, use the telephone in his office to schedule a meeting with the district attorney. Now, is this really my office or is it not? This must not be my office. It's my office. No, that's the exit. Let's see. Is my office over here? That must be my office. What's that other room then? What's the point? Okay, let me close. Well, should I close the door? Yeah. The control for the closing of the door and it's a little weird. It's a little weird. So when I come in here, my door is wide open. Don't like that. Don't like that at all. And there's a fax machine here. I mean, I can use the fax machine to call, but it does not look like it wants me to do that. So let's see. Yeah, the controls are really kind of weird. Let me try to close this door without. There we go. Can I sit? No, doesn't look like I can do anything. I can't interact with anything in here. Let's see. Can't interact with anything over there. Cannot interact with anything here. I mean, is this really my office? That may be the problem. Well, I mean, let's see over here. I mean, it looks like my office. I don't think I share an office with anyone else. What's over here? It's another office. Looks like it's for specifically research. There is no phone in here. I'm being nosy right now. Same thing. Well, this is even more cramped. Yeah, it looks like the same thing here where they have people do research and stuff. So let's try one more. What's this say? This is my office. You would think I would have known that my office would have my name on it, but apparently not. Well, we do have a phone. So let's do that. Let's call the district attorney's office. That's a little loud.
District Attorney's Office.
Hello, this is Mark Ferry. I'm calling from the Ferry and Sonnenberg office. I'd like to make an appointment with Mr. Raylan Jackson.
The purpose of your visit, sir?
I want to speak with Mr. Jackson about the case DS35789 and to receive an access to gathered evidence and other case-related information. I'm representing the defendant.
One moment, please.
Mr. Ferry,
I'm here.
thank you for your patience. The prosecutor will meet you today. He's available from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Please come anytime. Oh, and please take any document which confirms your identity, of course.
Thank you very much. I'll be there. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right. So now I have to visit. I wonder if I should have called the detention center. Then again, why would I if I don't even know any information? We don't have any information on him yet, so I'm not going to worry about that. But what is this sitting on my desk? Yeah, get that thing. So that's my ID. There we go. So let's go to the district attorney's office. I hope I don't have to walk over to the district attorney's office. I'm hoping that I can just...
I almost forgot about that letter of acceptance. I should get back to Miss Potnick before I leave.
Oh, yeah.
Miss
Forgot all
Potnick,
about that.
I'm leaving. I need my letter of acceptance back.
Of course. Good luck with your case, Mr. Ferry.
Thanks. I'll see you later.
Yeah, did not even think of that. I'm glad they added that in there. So, okay. Where are we going? District attorney's office over here. Oh, I love that part.
Hectic as usual.
Love
no
that
matter if
part.
it's summer holiday or any other season.
Love that part. Why is everybody looking like that? You see this dude following me? Look how he watching me. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Are you security? Yeah, he's security.
Excuse me, sir. I have to see your pass.
My
Please.
bad. Sorry, dude.
I can't let you through before I see the pass, sir. Thank you.
There you go. That's why he's looking at me all cross-eyed. Maybe he's standing over here. I'm just gonna go find somebody and talk to. Nope, can't just talk to anybody then. Okay. I mean, but at the same time, it's like you go in here. Look at this layout. Look at this thing. You go in here. It's wide open. First of all. Now I know he probably would have stopped me before I even got this way. But it's like you go through this. Everything's wide open. You got all these people out here, probably all the grunts. And then I'm pretty sure if this is a district attorney, he's gotta have his own office, right? That's probably the conference room of some sort. You would think he has his name on his office door. No, he does not. It does not look like it. Maybe the conference room that I thought was the conference room is really his office. And I might be right. No, doesn't look like it. Okay, so it won't let me open that. One thing about this is like it does not really give you too much. It gives you just enough direction, but it doesn't give you enough direction. So was I supposed to talk to her? Was I supposed to talk to him? Maybe I was supposed to talk to the security officer and ask him. Nope, it's not even giving me that option again. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. I get up to her, I can't talk to her. Can I talk to you? Can't talk to you. Can I talk to you? Try to talk to you. Can't talk to you. Can I talk to you? No. I can't talk to anyone here. But let's see if it'll give me... Nope. Can't open that door. Can't open that door. Can't open that door. I think this one was the only one that gave me any kind of... Dude, this kind of... I don't know. You don't give me an option. There we go.
Come in.
That's weird. His name is not
Good day,
on
Mr.
his
Jackson.
own office door.
Ah, Mr. Ferry. Welcome. I was a bit surprised that you still take cases as a public defense attorney.
I needed a change.
Really? So now you decided to help a drug dealer and a gangster? I guess you know how it'll probably end. aren't you? And for what? The difference between a public defender's and a private attorney's salaries is beyond comparison. So my question is, why bother?
As I said, I needed a change.
Sounds mysterious and private. I'm not digging deeper then.
All right.
Have you talked to your client yet?
No, not yet. I'm gonna go visit him after our meeting and checking the evidence.
I'm flattered. You did well visiting me in the first place. There's one thing I'd like to discuss with you, but before that, let's go to the evidence room.
I have some questions first. All right, let's go then. The evidence room's around here. It's the one with the windowed wall.
Windowed wall. So that's over here. Probably. There we go.
This is it. Drugs, pictures taken at the spot, statements, and the police report. The last one won't be introduced in the court.
Because of hearsay? So the man who arrested my client will testify in the court?
That's correct.
There isn't really a lot of it.
Indeed. Your client was caught during a police operation to take down one of the gangs operating in the area. Do you want me to briefly explain the situation?
Yeah, please.
Yes, please. I want to know both perspectives.
Right. Mr. Williams is in his mid-20s. He has a wife and a small kid. He works as an independent taxi driver and a courier.
Independent. Is he self-employed?
Yes, a friendly guy from the neighborhood who can drive you anywhere you want or deliver things directly and faster than UPD, Del-X, or other postal services.
UPD or Del-X.
So how did he get himself into, as you claim, criminal activities presented in charges?
And why is evidence misspelled, dude? It's odd. It's like, yeah.
2 months ago, Owen was hired by Robin Smith, also known as RS, one of the leaders of the Southside Snakes, a drug-dealing gang working in the area. The defendant was asked to deliver a certain package, and he agreed to it. They met in the tenement house where Robin resided. The whole block had already been under surveillance back then, and the police waited for any good occasion to enter. When your client left the area with the package, the assault group entered the building and secured a significant quantity of drugs. Meanwhile, Mr. Williams was followed by Detective Roberts. He wanted to find out who was going to be the recipient of the package. Unfortunately, Mr. Williams was stopped on his way by a police patrol, presumably for running a red light. Fearing that the intervention would scare Williams away, Roberts decided to cancel the action and arrest the defendant on the spot. Of course, a package filled with narcotics was found in the passenger seat.
Did he resist?
As far as I know, he didn't. And of course he played dumb. That he didn't know what was in the package, nor he knew he was doing errands for a gang.
Maybe he really didn't know.
Oh, please. He's either really stupid or a good actor. Do you think the jury will buy this story? I really doubt that.
Seems to me like they're drawing conclusions
We'll see.
already.
Can I work with the evidence now?
Feel free. I'll be in my office. Stop by when you finish. You might have some more questions.
Yeah. Well, let's see what we have here.
So that was the statement presented by my client in the presence of the previous attorney.
Let's analyze. Oh, God. This is a lot of stuff to read. So, I'll read it, but if you guys want to pass by it or skip it, I completely understand. I, Owen Williams, hereby state that I'm innocent of the given charges. That is possession and distribution of illegal substances and being a part of a criminal organization. My association with Mr. Ron Smith was purely incidental. I was hired to pick up a package in his house in Southside and deliver it to Mr. Jack Taylor in Northside. Mr. Smith called the day beforehand on the 7th of June and asked to come the next morning. That was the first time I spoke with him. I'm a professional driver and courier, known in the neighborhood. I also have my ad in a phone book. I do not No possible mutual friends. None of them were mentioned by him, so I suspect he knew my phone number from the book. I arrived at Smith's around 11:30. That was my first time there. When I got to the door, an unknown man opened the door and told me to come inside. It turned out it wasn't Smith. There were 3 people in the living room, including the man who opened the door. One of them stepped forward, greeted me, and introduced himself as Robin Smith. He told me about the package, but not about its contents. The package was a duffel bag. When I grabbed it, I didn't feel it was heavy. Smith told me to take the bag to Jack Taylor as fast as possible, as we agreed on the phone. He paid me up front for the express delivery service. I asked only if the package is fragile. I thought based on weight there might be something made of glass that could be easily broken. Smith denied. I had no idea who the other people were. They looked kind of intimidating and remained silent during the talk, but I didn't see any guns on them or in the room. Mr. Smith was also polite to me, so I didn't expect any trouble. After I got out of the place, I wanted to go directly to Mr. Taylor. I was in a bit of hurry because I wanted to earn more money for today and do other errands. I put the bag in the front passenger seat and drove away. When I crossed the bridge and got to the Crossroad Bridge intersection, I ran the red lights. I thought I could make it when they were still yellow. I didn't have to wait long for the consequences. Unluckily, there was a police patrol who witnessed my action and pulled me over. I was angry because I knew I would lose all the money I was going to earn to pay for the ticket. I was cooperative with patrol police officers, had my ID and other documents, but they didn't ask me to leave the car. Suddenly, another car appeared, and an unknown man in a white shirt got out, showed his badge, and introduced himself as a Detective Roberts. He immediately asked me to open the duffel bag. His voice was aggressive, and it seemed the other patrol officers didn't know what was going on. I did as he said. I was shocked because I found a bag of cocaine inside of it. I became anxious and felt that it was a setup. I was arrested on the spot. I could scream something in emotions, like I didn't know or something like that. I was taken by the patrol, and Detective Roberts stayed there with the bag and my car. I repeat, I'm innocent. I had no idea about the contents of the bag. I wasn't distributing them. I was just delivering the package from one client to another. I couldn't also be a part of a criminal organization I didn't know. I didn't know Mr. Smith or any of his other associates. I was treated by the police as a potential suspect, not a witness. I was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Okay, out of that, what do we see that is very important here? I think that, let's see, select pieces of text that you think might contain useful information. Let's see, Robin Smith. I don't know, how did I pick anything? Maybe I'm picking the wrong stuff. The bag wasn't heavy, it was a duffel bag. Smith told me to take the bag. Here's what really gets me, is this detective. I mean, it seems like they were just going to get him for running the red light. They didn't care about this duffel bag until this detective showed up. I think that was probably the most important thing I got from that. Let's go back and make sure that we're not supposed to be. It's not allowing me to pick anything that I thought was important, so maybe it isn't. Oh, it lets you tilt this thing and everything. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so let's go back here and see what else is here. All right, here we go here. Let's interact
That's the
with
police
this.
report written by
This
the
is the
officer who
police
detained
report.
Williams. Let's take a look.
All right, here we go. On July 8th, 1992, around 11:40, the unknown suspect, who turned out later to be Mr. Owen Williams, was seen during a police operation to crack down a drug gang called Southside Snakes. Mr. Williams entered the house of the main suspect, Robin Williams, who was under surveillance, and remained there for 5 to 10 minutes. Afterward, he left the house carrying a new object, a duffel bag. The commander of the operation, Commissioner Francis Wright, ordered me to follow the suspect because we believed he was transporting illegal drugs. There was a chance that the suspect would meet another key character of the operation, Jack Taylor. Mr. Williams was driving his car, the model stated in the report, towards Northside when he suddenly ran the red light at the crossroads. The incident was spotted by the police patrol, who decided to stop the car. I stepped in during the control because of the risk that Mr. Williams would panic and try to escape from the scene. Mr. Williams seemed to be surprised and anxious. I spotted the duffel bag on the front passenger seat and asked the driver to open it. He did as I said. When it turned out that the bag was filled with a significant amount of white powder,
The officer admitted that Owen
in a
Williams
smaller
didn't resist
plastic
during
bag.
the search of the car.
He became
Started to
aggressive.
get nervous when drugs were discovered.
So this is supposed to say he was arrested at the spot and taken into custody by the police officers from the patrol. The bag was secured by technicians called to the scene, and the car was towed to TCPD number 2 parking lot for further investigation. Okay, so police patrol notes. On July 8th, 1992 in the morning, we were doing a routine patrol. This is a little wrong. In the southern part of the north side, around 11:35, we spotted a yellow sedan that ran the red light. So this guy is saying that at 11:40 he saw the suspect enter the house and everything. This guy says he saw the yellow sedan come across at 11:35. That's a little weird. It's a little odd. We spotted a yellow sedan that ran the red light. We decided to stop the car to give a fine. The driver was a young adult, around 25, black. We started the whole procedure, and the driver didn't resist. Suddenly, another car appeared next to us. The unknown man turned out to be Detective Andrew Roberts. The stop driver looked quite anxious when he spotted the detective. Detective Roberts asked him to open a duffel bag that was on the passenger's front seat. The man did it, and we spotted unidentified narcotics inside. We unholstered our service pistols and ordered the man to get out of the car with his hands in the air. The man used aggressive language towards us, but didn't use physical force. Detective Roberts ordered us to handcuff him and take him to the precinct. The arrest time was between 11:40 and 11:45. The arrested man remained silent during our way to the station and refused to talk until he received a public defender. Now, are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Because I don't know. The times are not together. The times seem to be a little conflicting here. They're saying around 11:35 they spotted them. Between 11:40 and 11:45 they arrested him. They're saying that at 11:40 they saw him enter the house and everything, stay for 5-10 minutes. Something's wrong here. So I'm not seeing where I can pick that, like the times and stuff. But I think we probably need to remember that later. But it's not letting me pick any of that, so maybe it's not as important. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I don't know. So let's go over here. What is that? First, let's look at this.
This is the key evidence. This package was
Okay, this is obviously misspelled, dude, but maybe it's on purpose. I don't know. This is open here.
Somebody's opened the package. Was it Mr. Williams? It would be bad news. Maybe it was the police. Or maybe it was damage from the beginning. We should find the answers in the police report.
It wasn't in the police report. Let's go back to the police report. Let's see over here. No, this is his testimony. That's not the police report. This is the police report. It says the bag was filled with a significant amount of white powder in a smaller plastic bag. Nobody says anything about opening it up, though. Okay. I hope I'm not missing anything. Let's look at this.
That's one piece of evidence. Seems the packaged cocaine was transported in this bag. Can I learn something more about it?
zoom in a little bit. I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary from this bag. I wish it would let me open it up. Or would it? Maybe I need to zoom in some more. No. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything different. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary. It looks just like a regular bag. I wish they would let me open it up. But, now it's telling me to talk to Ryland Jackson. So, I'm figuring that I have gotten everything that I need to get off of this. Let me go back and talk to this dude. This is just crazy. I do like the way he's standing there waiting on me.
Mark Ferry, did you learn everything you needed from the evidence?
Seems so, but I still have some questions before I go to my client and listen to his version of events.
Of course you do. Before you ask your questions and go, there's one more thing we need to discuss.
And?
Look, we are rivals at the court, but the courtroom is not a place for a cockfight. I'm there to fight for justice, and I don't want to play tug of war. You know what I mean?
You're offering a plea bargain.
That's correct.
I'm a little surprised, that early.
It's not early at all. You're not his first attorney. The death of Mr. Morrigan slowed the whole procedure. I'm just accelerating things.
All right then, you have my attention.
Owen Williams made a foolish mistake. There's no doubt about it.
I disagree, but please continue.
And because of that foolishness, I don't think he's part of the gang. He's a small fry. A trial is a waste of time, and I'd rather avoid spending our resources in this case. We have bigger fish, one of the leaders, and a few real-time gangsters. I want to focus on them.
So, drop the charges then. Why bother?
It's not that simple. Drunk possession is a serious felony. We're at war against narcotics as a society. Remember?
But he didn't even know what he was transporting.
You can't prove it. Do you think the jury is going to believe in that?
It depends. Maybe this gangster could testify that Williams didn't know about the contents of the bag.
Please, be sensible. You have no idea what this guy's capable of. Maybe he'd help you, or maybe he'd choose to incriminate him too. There's no need. We can end this without going to the court.
So what are you proposing?
We'll drop the charges of being part of a criminal organization and drug distribution. As for drug possession, he'll get 1 year in prison, including time he's already served in the detention center, or pay a $3,000 fine. That's all I can guarantee without chopping my head off.
Thank you. Your offer looks really generous. I'll pass it to my client.
Of course. You said you have some additional questions, right?
Okay, here we go.
Williams had another lawyer. What happened to him?
He
What happened?
cancer. Why?
I was just curious about who was representing Mr. Williams.
Well, Mr. Morgan was a very good public defender. He can negotiate very good terms with the prosecution, but his performance at the court was also exceptional. Unfortunately, before I offered him a plea bargain, he'd already been taken to the hospital. Then he passed away, and the court had to find a new defender. You.
Thanks. I didn't know that. Can you tell me more about this gang which the police took down?
The South Side Snakes. Mostly street thugs pushing drugs and extorting small local businesses. Leeches.
If they're small fish, then how did they get so much cocaine?
Obviously, we have a much bigger player who's a supplier and has access to drug production means. Taking this gang down was the first step in our ongoing investigation. We hope the leaders will spill the beans.
Anything else?
Your client had contact with one of the leaders, Robin Smith, and his henchmen. They're the guys who gave your bird cocaine to deliver to another key person, Jack Taylor. But Owen Williams never got to his place because he'd been arrested by Officer Andrew Roberts.
Those guys seem to be my key witnesses.
Maybe, but all of them were killed during the police action.
What?
What? All of them are dead?
Every
We
last
wanted to
one of
capture
them?
them alive, but they refused to lay down their weapons. Only Jack Taylor survived, and right now, he's our key witness in the case, who can lead us to their employers.
So,
What?
maybe this guy knows about Williams.
Do you even listen to me? He's our key witness in a much bigger case, Ferry. Don't drag him to the court. You'll endanger both him and the investigation.
I can do you a favor and leave him out of court, but I need his testimony, even if it's written. Let me talk with him. Of course you'll be there the whole time like a normal examination.
All right. We can arrange that. Thank you, Ferry. Is it that all?
Yeah, I think I asked everything.
Can you tell me more about the circumstances of the arrest?
Everything is in the report. Have you read it?
That's not really helpful.
It really isn't.
Because I don't really have anything more to add. The guy had a tail since he'd left Smith's house with the package. Then the police stopped Williams for some petty reason, and Detective Roberts intervened. Jackson didn't resist, but he became anxious when they discovered the cocaine. No surprise. I would be too.
Now, in my opinion, honestly, the detective should have just let him go, let them finish, let him give him whatever ticket or whatever he was going to get, and let him drive to where he was going.
Anxious? Maybe surprised?
It doesn't matter, really.
It could matter if he really didn't know about the drugs.
He could fake his reaction. Let's leave that subject. It doesn't lead us anywhere. Do you have any more questions or topics to discuss?
Nope, I think I'm done. Okay, now I gotta go back to my office. But I think that there's obviously more going on here, which is a given. But at the same time, you know, I feel like that detective is probably in on something. I mean, I know that that's drawing a conclusion that really probably shouldn't be drawn right away, but I really think it is. So let's go back to my office. When you're done with the investigation and you want to advance to the next step, which is the trial, you can call it a day from the case menu. You have to be in Ferry and Sonnenberg to do this. I'm not calling it a day yet, so obviously, yeah, we're not doing that yet because we are just simply not ready. We haven't even spoken to our client. What is this, bathroom? So let's go back to my office. The way they have this person walking is kind of weird. Okay, so we're here. So why did you have me go back here? Let's see. Tab does anything. Inventory does this. Let's see. View that. Let's analyze this text. We confirm you are the new official public defender. As a replacement to Mr. Percy Morgan, the proper information has been sent to other necessary institutions. So there's nothing there that we really need to look at. Let's see what else is in our inventory that we have not. We have our DA pass letter from the court. What is that? Yeah, we already looked at all this. Okay. I think we have everything that we need. Problem is, maybe we've done everything for the day. Let's see. Let's make sure we can't interact with anything else. I don't think we can. There's nothing there to interact with. So when I hit escape, it brings me here. So let's look at them. We can look at the map from here. We can look at the case from here. We can look at our settings and all that stuff. Okay. So I think I need to go see this dude. I probably should not have come back here today. I probably should have gone to the detention center. Honestly. Because I can't call it I don't want to call it a day yet. So let me go back. We need to go and talk to our client. But it's telling me to come back here, which I don't understand why. But I'm going to go talk to my client. You got anything for me, girl? No? Alright. Let's go to the detention center. Alright. Let's see what we got going on over here. Let's go to the reception. Yeah, I'm getting in front of all y'all.
Good day.
Good day, sir. Can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to visit my client.
First and last name of the defendant?
Owen Williams.
May I see your ID? I'm sorry, sir, but you're not Percy Morgan. He's the legal representative of Mr. Williams.
Not anymore. I'm his pup.
Do you have any proof?
There you go. I got this notification from the court. They had to send you the same information.
Maybe yes, maybe not. The courts sometimes might be quite slacky, but the most probable option is that indeed we got the note, but it hasn't been submitted in our register yet.
So, then find it. I must see the defendant.
Well, as you can see, I'm quite busy now, and I have to handle all of you. I think all the papers will be settled by the end of the day.
Do I be strict? I'm gonna be
Look,
patient.
I understand your unfortunate situation, but this is urgent, so could you please check it for me now? I'm sure the court's note is somewhere there. There's no queue behind me, so...
Sir, I want you to calm down. This isn't the court, nor your fancy office in which you can lecture me. Please sit down and wait.
Oh, please, take your time. I'll just be sitting over here.
That is not what the dialogue said. Okay, so we sitting, we're waiting.
Mr. Ferry,
Here we go.
That's me.
please follow me.
I mean, they're so, like, just...
That man over there must be Owen Williams.
Take your time, sir.
Here we go. Now we're gonna
Good
get
day,
into
Mr.
it.
Williams. I'm Mark Ferry from Ferry and Sonnenberg. How do you do?
Hi. Well, I'm alright, I guess. Who are you?
I'm your new lawyer, Mr. Williams. Didn't you get the notice?
No, I didn't. Where's Mr. Morgan? I haven't heard from him for quite a while.
All I know is he passed away. I don't know the details, but I can ask somebody if you want.
There's no need. So are we starting over then? I've already been here for 2 months.
2 months.
You don't have to worry about the procedures. There'll be no further delays. You have my word on that. I have access to all the evidence, and I'm in contact with the prosecution.
Alright. I guess I'm going to trust you, Mr. Ferry.
Thank you.
So, what do you need from me?
Mr. Williams, I'd like you to tell me
Alright.
what's your occupation?
I'm a freelance taxi driver mostly. Sometimes I do some errands. I deliver parcels as a courier.
Parcels.
An independent taxi driver courier? Is it difficult to compete with the organized taxi corporations?
It isn't, because in fact, I often work for them as a contractor. I have my own car, so I don't have to rely on the company's vehicles. I also have my own regular clients.
I see. And who are they? Were they those people whom you worked for the last time?
God, no. I didn't have a clue they were gangsters. I have my ad in the phone book, so I pick up some calls for different requests. Sometimes people in the neighborhood hire me beforehand for an exact date because they have some things to settle and need a driver. But of course, for most of the time, I'm in the street and pick up strangers.
Have you got a list of your regular clients?
Sure, my wife can provide you with that. Mostly, there are normal people from the neighborhood.
Okay.
Your wife, you say. Can you tell me about your family life a bit?
Yeah, I'm married to Susan. We have a small kid, Greg. I love that little rascal so much. We live in the South Side, so the neighborhood isn't the most representative, but there are many good and honest people living there. My parents are still alive. They run a grocery store, and my wife's a nurse at the hospital.
What about your parents-in-law?
What about them?
Are you on good terms with them?
Well, I guess so, but Mr. Richard is quite strict because he served in the army. Miss Rose, on the other hand, is very kind. We don't argue much.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
So, what do you need from me?
Okay, let's talk about
I've read
the
your
arrest.
testimony at the DA's office, but I'd like you to tell me about the events from that day. Don't skip any details, even if you decided to leave them out with your previous attorney. I need to know everything.
We didn't skip anything.
Mr. Williams, I want you to tell me about the...
Haven't you read my test?
I haven't been to the DA's office yet. I wanted to meet you first.
But see, why am I
Would you mind telling
saying
me
that
your
when I
story
actually
you
did
to
that?
Mr. Morgan? Besides, you could omit some unnecessary details in the testimony.
Hey,
Mr. Williams, I need you to trust me. If there's anything else I should know, except the provided information, I must know it.
it's like I said to the police. In the morning of that day, before I went out, I had gotten a call from a guy who wanted me to deliver a package from one guy to him. He said it was quite urgent to go there immediately. He even added that Delex, that courier company, didn't want to meet his request and send somebody there as soon as possible.
Wasn't this a bit odd for you? Delex does that kind of service. I make similar requests from time to time.
Honestly, I didn't care about that. I have a family. I need to bring home the bacon. Collecting people and some deliveries is my job.
Was this the first time that he contacted you? Did you work for him earlier?
That was the first time. The guy's from the north side. At least the address where I was supposed to take the parcel was in that part of the city. Rarely anybody out of my neighborhood calls me to use my services.
All right, let's get back to the day of the arrest.
Okay, so I drove to the given address and I met this Robin fella. He was from the south side like me. He waited for me in an apartment block, not in the best area even for the south side. But poor people don't mean gangsters immediately. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
So, I met him. There were two other men there too, but they didn't talk to me at all. I felt quite weird, like I didn't belong there. There was something intimidating in them.
And you still accepted the contract?
As I said, man's gotta eat. I didn't want to turn down the guy's offer and damage my reputation. Besides, those men were quite quick. That Robin guy gave me a duffel bag and asked to deliver it to Mr. Tiller as soon as possible. That's it. I left the apartment and drove to the north side.
What happened next?
Soon after I entered the north side, I was stopped by the police. I thought those pigs did because of my black skin, because obviously people of color don't belong to the rich whites from north side suburbs. But I also considered that I could run a red light.
And then they arrested you?
Not immediately. I pulled over and then a police officer, a regular one, asked me for my driver's license and the vehicle registration. I thought, damn, gonna get a ticket and that's all for my extra money. But then another car came up, a civilian one. The driver, who wore a trench coat, came out and hurriedly approached me and the cop. He showed his badge and introduced himself as Detective Roberts from the TCPD and asked me to open the duffel bag.
Where was it?
Next to me, on the passenger seat. I didn't know what was going on, so I opened it and there was a package wrapped in plastic foil. That detective cut the foil with his knife, and there was a quite lot of white powder inside. I quickly realized there were drugs, and I freaked out.
Did you fight or struggle?
I was extremely upset and scared. Somebody could say I was aggressive, but they were just emotions. I didn't attack or hurt anybody. That's it. That's all my story.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Williams.
So, what do you need from me?
Let's talk about your previous attorney.
Well, he told me it would be rather difficult to prove I had a serious connection with the gang unless they found key evidence. However, I could have a hard time proving I didn't know I was carrying the drugs. Do you agree with him?
No, I don't. You might find me too optimistic, but I believe that every charge can be discarded if good evidence and arguments are given. And one of the most important things is to win the jury's hearts.
This doesn't have any voice acting. I appreciate your optimism, but I am accused of possessing drugs and other drug-related crimes. Things are worse because I'm black. I'm not naive or stupid, Mr. Williams. Please, people like me go to prison while whites just buy their freedom.
Everything you said is true. However, I still believe we can fight for the best outcome for you.
Mr. Morgan suggested taking a plea bargain if there's any. Do you agree with him? So, what do you need from me?
Let's talk about the parcel, which is the reason you're here.
What do you want to know?
Did you know the bag?
God,
Was the bag your possession itself?
no, it belonged to this Robin.
Some of these questions are a little bit redundant because
And
he's
you didn't
already
want to
answered
take a
that.
peek inside?
He
Why
said,
would I?
"Oh, there we
I
go.
deliver
That
many
just started."
packages to my clients.
It's a little delay
It
on
isn't
the
really
voice acting
professional
right
to
here.
spy on them. All I need to know about the transport is presented by my client. Whether the parcel is fragile and needs extra caution and so on. Does it need a bigger trunk and so on.
Based on your meeting with Robin and his associates, weren't you suspicious about the package?
Normally, I would be, but I drove many people and their goods, which could be suspicious at the first glimpse, but eventually, they were innocent.
Alright, so to sum up, you had no idea about the contents of the bag. Nobody told you, nor did you open it and look inside.
Well, I actually opened it.
How come?
The detective forced me to open it when they stopped me. He pointed a gun at me and yelled something like, "Open the bag, but slowly."
Noted.
So, what do you need from me?
Did I ask about the bag with the cocaine?
Let's talk about the parcel, which is the
No,
reason.
I already
What
did
do
that.
you want?
Dang it.
Did you know?
God,
Dang it, I did
What?
that again.
Based
We're going to hurry up
Oh,
and skip through
okay.
that. I already asked about
Noted.
that.
so,
Okay.
what do you need from me?
Let's
I
tell me
got
about
back
the
from the
plea.
DA's office.
Alright,
The prosecution promised to.
wow, I must admit, I didn't expect that. First, I've heard something about dozens of years, or even 25. That's a huge leap. Thank you, Mr. Ferry. Unfortunately, I don't have that kind of money, but I think
We can do better than that. Prosecution wants to close the case as soon as possible, and they don't want to spend more resources. I'm not saying it will be easy, but if the jury finds you not guilty, you'll not only come back home immediately, but also receive compensation for the time served here, which is worth all of the bail money.
I don't know, sir. I don't want to be greedy, and the risk is quite high.
This is your decision, Mr. Williams. I'm just giving you the options.
Alright, Mr. Ferry, I trust you. Please pass the information to the prosecution that I refuse. I'll sign the proper papers too.
Thank you. I will.
So, what do you need from me?
Okay, let's talk about the gang.
You told me already, but I must ask again. Have
No, I haven't. That was the first time I met them. I was never interested in criminal life. I wanted to live normally and have a fair, honest job.
See, this strictly remind him or be gentle.
Bet you do. Thank you, Mr. Williams. If you happen to remember any other details about these men which might help, let me know. We can't allow the prosecution to use them against you, if there are any.
Right. So, what do you need from me?
So I think that's it.
That'll
I think
be
I've
all
asked
for
him
now.
Everything.
Thank you, Mr. Williams, for your time.
Of course. Thank you, Mr. Ferry, for helping me.
Okay, so I met with him. Now I think I have to go back to. See, that's what I don't understand. They told me to go and look at the evidence before I went there. I'm gonna go back to the district attorney's office.
I can't let you through.
Here,
before-
dude, shut up. You know, we're not gonna do all that mess again. You saw me before. So let me go in here, I think, and go back to the evidence. Maybe this time it will
haven't done
allow
yet.
me. Haven't done what yet? Can I talk to you? I can't talk to you. Okay, I'm not understanding. If I go over here.
I must study all the evidence first.
Yeah,
I
open
took
it.
the case, so why would I want to skip the evidence examination?
Isn't this the evidence? See, this is what's getting on my nerve. I don't know what's going on here. I can't talk to the attorney anymore. Or the prosecutor. I can't talk to him anymore. So if I go back in here, go over here,
I took the case, so why would I want to skip the evidence examination?
I'm not telling you to skip the evidence examination. So this is I don't know. I'm gonna go see what it's telling me to do. I'm gonna go back to where it told me to go. Yeah, see, I don't feel like it's allowing. You know what? Maybe I need to call somebody. Wait, let me call someone. Let me see. Nope. I can't interact with that either. This is like kind of get on my nerve. Let's look at the case. We don't see anything on the case. There's blank stuff here. There's a lot of blank stuff here. I'm going to say call it a day. Further investigation is unavailable in the demo. You are about to advance to the trial stage. Are you sure you want to? I can't do anything else, right? So let's go to the trial. Let's say forget it. Let's just go to the trial, September 11, 1992. This is kind of cool looking,
All right.
to be honest with you.
Department 2 of the Superior Court is now in session. Judge Theodore Robinson presiding. Please be seated.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The court is now in session. Calling the case of the people of the state versus Mr. Owen Williams. Are both sides ready?
Ready for the people, Your Honor.
Ready for the defense, Your Honor.
Will the bailiff please swear in the jury?
Will the jury please stand and raise your right hand? Do each of you swear that you will fairly try the evidence before this court, and that you will return a true verdict according to the evidence and the instructions of the court? So help you God? Please say I do.
I do.
You may be seated.
We will now hear the opening statement from the prosecution.
Here we
Thank
go.
you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you're here to decide the fate of the defendant who has been charged with the crime of possessing over 2 pounds of cocaine for dealing and distribution purposes, as well as taking part in organized crime. The defendant has been caught red-handed by the police during a secret operation to crack down the gang. He met the gang members and picked up the bag with drugs and tried to deliver it to another criminal, Mr. Jack Taylor, one of the leaders of the gang. The defendant then was stopped by the police patrol for running the lights, but he was also followed by Detective Andrew Roberts for the whole time. He's the one who decided to enter the scene and arrest the suspect. The police indeed found a bag containing the drugs, which was the direct purpose of arresting on the spot. The evidence and testimonies I present will prove to you that the defendant is guilty as charged.
Thank you, counsel. Let's hear the defense's opening statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor and ladies and gentlemen of the jury, under the law, my client is presumed innocent until proven guilty. You've already heard serious accusations against my client, Mr. Owen Williams. You can understand that Mr. Williams is a crook working for a criminal organization. The fact is, he's a humble taxi driver and a courier. That day he was just doing his regular job and got a call from one of his many clients to deliver a package. Unfortunately, it turned out that his employer was a member of a gang. And what's more, the police planned that day to end the criminal activity of that group. Mr. Williams was extremely unlucky. He didn't know who he was working for, nor did he know the contents of the package. During this trial, you'll hear no real evidence against my client to prove charges of that caliber. My client is not guilty, and I'll prove it.
Prosecution may
Here we
call
go.
its first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The prosecution calls Detective Andrew Roberts from TCPD, Gang and Narcotics Division.
Name and surname?
Andrew Roberts.
Please raise your hand and repeat after me. I, Andrew Roberts,
I, Andrew Roberts, do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare and affirm that the evidence I shall give to the court in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I've been here many times. I remember the oath by heart.
Detective Andrew Roberts, I remind you that you are at the court and there are procedures here. Please treat the officials with respect and speak when you are asked to. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
I guess Mr. Detective is a hothead. Or maybe he's flexible when it comes to formalities. If I can use that.
Mr. Roberts, please state your profession.
I'm a detective in TCPD, Gangs and Narcotics Division.
How are you related to the case?
I was the one who arrested Mr. Williams.
Why did you arrest the defendant?
He was transporting a bag of cocaine.
How much?
Around 2 pounds.
What's the street value of that amount?
Over $185,000.
Damn.
Could the defendant operate that much drugs on his own or on behalf of a criminal organization?
All right, time to step in and spoil the party.
Object that. Okay, an objection command is a basic and vital tool in every attorney's arsenal. I think we know that. When the other person's evidence, testimony, or question should have been acknowledged by the court, and they shouldn't be acknowledged by the court, and they might clearly harm your case, you raise an objection. If raised, the judge decides whether it should be sustained, thus the evidence is discarded or overruled. The evidence would be accepted. Try to oppose the prosecution's question.
Objection, Your Honor. The question not only calls for speculation, but is also leading.
Sustained. Please stick with the rules of evidence, counsel.
Properly used objection lowers harm to your case and jury's trust to the prosecution. Be aware, if your objection is overruled, you will lose the jury's favor too. There's no limit to objections which the attorney can make during the trial. However, abusing the command too often in improper situations might disrupt court's proceedings, anger the judge, and will surely affect your rapport with rapport with the court, including the jury. It can even lead to the situation in which your next properly used objection won't be taken seriously by the judge, even if it had solid ground. Makes sense. Note, there will be an active pause after each question. If you decide to move on, you won't be able to raise an objection to that question later. Remember, leading and suggesting questions aren't allowed in direct examination, as well as those unrelated to the case.
How did you know he was transporting the drugs?
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You can do that.
To be honest, I wasn't sure.
Please explain.
That's fine.
Mr. Williams happened to appear in the area under surveillance. You see, we were in the middle of an operation to crack down a drug gang called Southside Snakes. We were observing 2 houses belonging to the 2 key figures, Robin Smith and Jack Taylor. The 2 houses are located in 2 different parts of the city, so there were 2 surveilling teams observing suspects at the same time.
And the defendant?
He approached Robin Smith's house, located in Southside. It was morning. Mr. Williams came there by car. He entered the building and left it after a few minutes. He was holding a bag. He got into a car and drove away.
Who did he talk inside the house to?
I don't know, but we knew there were at least 3 people there, all related to the gang, including Robin Smith himself.
What happened next?
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I was asked by Commanding Officer, Commissioner Francis Wright, to follow the man because he was probably going to another suspect, Mr. Taylor. In the meantime, the first squad in Southside decided to enter to neutralize suspects.
You arrested the defendant before he reached the destination. Why?
He ran the traffic lights, and the local patrol stopped him. I was worried that they would scare him away, so I decided to step in.
A patrol? How big was it?
2 police officers.
Did you arrest the defendant on the spot?
No, I asked him to open the bag first, the one he took from Smith's.
What was the defendant's behavior?
Oh, he was agitated, like he knew what was coming up.
That's a fucking lie.
I got this.
During direct examination, you can object not only to the prosecution's question, but also to given testimony. It's time to react to Robert's words. Use the objection command in the proper part of the witness speech.
Objection, Your Honor. The witness is speculating.
Sustained. The court will remove the part which suggests the reason why the defendant was acting as described. Please continue, counsel.
From now on, you can raise an objection also to testimony during direct examination and cross-examination. Use it wisely. Basically, it's saying the same thing. Watch out for situations when the witness evades answering the questions or gives unrelated answers, contradicts himself. When you see the witness doesn't answer questions, make assumptions, speculates, or simply lies.
That's a big lie. I wasn't agitated. I remained calm until I saw the cocaine inside the bag.
We'll get there.
Detective Roberts, where was the bag?
Okay, he can answer that because he probably could see it.
In the front passenger seat, but one of the officers claimed the defendant wanted to hide it behind.
Objection! Hearsay!
What hearsay? It's in the officer's written testimony.
Mr. Roberts, you can only speak for yourself. The objection is sustained. Please continue, Mr. Jackson.
Yeah, I did that. That
was
was pretty
inside
good.
the bag?
Cocaine.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no further questions.
I'm not sure.
I would like to submit pieces of evidence from number 1 to number 5, the duffel bag of cocaine, the pictures taken on the spot after arresting the defendant, and the complete list of other police officers.
I wonder if I should have objected to the fact that he said it was cocaine.
The list
and
covers
made
statements
him kind
of
of
2
prove
police
that they
officers who were at the time of arrest and 4 other detectives who claim they saw the defendants entering Robin Smith's house and then leaving with the presented evidence.
Thank you, counsel. Would the defense object to any pieces of evidence?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, during the full version of the game, you will have an opportunity to question the presented evidence if you can prove it's worthless.
Does the defense wish to ask any questions to the witness?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. So that's the whole demo. Ah, man, no. See, I don't know. No, they're going to get some feedback from me because I believe that this first part, you said it was the prologue. You said it was the first, you said it was going to be the first actual case. At least let us go through that case. Let us do that case. You didn't act as if I had checked the evidence. I had done that. So that's going to be an issue. I like the concept of the game, though. I really do. And I really want to see all of that probably done better. But I think in the meantime, I'm going to put this on my list to watch. But I am going to let them know a few things that I had issues with. First of all, we're going to continue it. First of all, I did feel like, obviously some of the voice acting is not going to be there. That's expected. So I'm not going to go into all that. But I felt like when you say you're going to let us play the prologue, or you're going to show us the prologue in a demo, let us do that prologue. Let us play that whole thing, that whole case out. Now, I don't know how many cases are in the full version of the game, but you didn't allow me to do a lot of stuff in here that would have made a huge difference. But it did give me an idea of what's going on, so I have to give it to you for that. But I am disappointed that I wasn't able to go back to the evidence. It didn't recognize that I went and checked the evidence. I sat there, told my client that I hadn't checked the evidence when I actually did. It wouldn't let me pick anything from his deposition or his statement indicating that, he had done certain things and there were certain things done at certain times. I looked at the police report. It didn't acknowledge that. I think those are simple things that should have been acknowledged in here because the game was telling me to go do those things. So yeah, I know it's in the demo version. It's not finished, but those things were a little bit annoying. Some of the things were also annoying to not kind of tell you where to go. As far as going to the district attorney's office, you didn't know which office it was. All of them look alike. I would think that the district attorney's office would be a little bit stand out, or at least he would have his name on, the front of his office, such as I have mine on my office. So, overall, I think I would still play it. So I'm not saying that I wouldn't. I definitely would. But I would like to see a lot of those things fixed when at least you have an early access come out. So everybody, this is called The Lawyer. It's in demo version on Steam. If you like the video, please click the like button. Subscribe for more potential demos as well as new games. Until the next video, everyone, which probably will be another demo until the whole demo thing is done on the 20th. This is just trying to play it, saying please stay safe, everyone.